does feel like a casting couch.
I know. This is Sam Alai for part 4 of the oral history interview for the Trans Museum of Past, Present, and Future. Okay, so friends, we have talked a lot about the focus of this session, the Trans Museum of Past, Present, and Future. But I'd like for us to take some time to zoom out and talk about our queer lives beyond the museum. So we can give our future listeners a glimpse into the local Savannah LGBTQIA+ scene. So first off, can each of you tell us what the word queer means to you and how that's different from trans, or maybe from gay, if you're gay, and like which words you identify with?
To me, queer has meant allowing myself to shed the perceptions and desires of others on my own life, and to really choose who I am and what I want to be and the legacy I want to leave in my life. And yeah, it means everything to me. It's being myself. And it also means being a part of, sorry, my phone's talking to me, being a part of this incredible community of other individuals that are pursuing their own uniqueness. And I don't know if it's the same, but it seems so like intertwined with pursuing who they will be for the world and for each other in community. And I think being queer is so beautiful and natural.
I think for me, queer excuse me, I think for me, queer used to be a slur that was thrown to everybody. And in a way, we've reclaimed it, but also, not only that, we're all under that umbrella. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily feel that like one specific demographic is under it. I feel like we're all under it. I feel like that's the home that we're all bind into. And I think gay, trans, lesbians are obviously very different from one another, but I feel like queer is it's the rainbow that makes us together, as corny as that sounds. But seriously, I think it ties us all together at home, because at one point we were all called queer. No matter if you were trans, gay, lesbian, you were queer. And now we've sort of reclaimed it for family, you know? That's my meaning for it, at least.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. And I've been using the word queer a lot more in the past few years. Instead of saying like a gay bar, say like a queer bar, instead of saying homophobia, I think more like queerphobia, just because it does encompass all of us. And I feel like, especially in Savannah, I feel like we're especially like unified in a really, really special way. When I travel to other countries, I don't, in a lot of places, I don't really see gay people and trans people as being as united and unified as I really see it and feel it here in Savannah. And so I think using the word queer is very important, just to speak about all of us together collectively.
Great. Keyshawn, you kind of brought up my next question in a bit, talking about the differences between our individual identities. So when you consider your own unique identity and the intersections that y'all exist in as individuals, are there any distinct joys or challenges that are like prevalent by you or for you and your community members?
Ooh. Wait, say it one more time for me.
Sure.
One more time.
Any distinct joys or challenges for like your particular specific intersectional communities? Like as a Black gay man, what challenges and joys do you think are very prevalent for you and your community?
Well, there's a few. There's a few. A lot of stereotypes for one. But there's so many things I feel like that I don't even really know where to begin. But I think as a gay man, I think primarily a Black gay man too, one that always I feel like I live with is sort of the heartache for the AIDS pandemic. I feel that you know, we don't really have elders. We don't really have people to help guide us through what life really should look like as a gay black man or as a gay man or just anything. For me, I also feel the heartache for the trans community because during that time period, like Stonewall and seeing Marsha P. Johnson and just everybody sort of being shunned away by queer family because they're not us, we're better than them, and things like that. It sucks ass. It just sucks. But for me, I always feel the heartache, and I always wonder if I'm doing the queer experience right, or am I doing these people that died for me the right way? Am I supposed to be doing stupid things, or am I supposed to be doing this thing? Like, I don't know. And I always figure, what's the best way to honor them? You know, what's the best way of appreciating the people that have died? Mm-hmm. And I think by always talking about them, always acknowledging it, because once you stop acknowledging it or talking about it, then they have truly died. But as long as you keep the presence of them and what they embody alive, they'll always be alive. It's so corny.
No, I think it's really beautiful. It is a lot of pressure, like perceived pressure to live up to their legacies.
Yeah.
And for me, that's been like, it's like the continual joy and pain and terror and euphoria of like walking out the door and just dressing how you want and knowing that people are staring at you for any reason. You know, it could be out of like fetishism, or it could be out of like curiosity, it could be out of hate, it could be out of attraction. Everybody's walking around with so much baggage and layering what their parents said their whole lives. And you know, even I've been told so many things about presenting like or being more masculine or tougher. You know, there's things that you are drilled into your brain. You talk about grooming, oh my god, to be man enough, and you're never man enough until you're trans. Yeah, I feel like that's it for me, is holding what came before, holding, you know, what I'm going through, holding what the world is going through. It's not just trans people who are suffering. It seems to be everybody. A lot of people are suffering way worse than I am. So all I can do is my like little piece and changing myself, loving myself so that I can love other people, and not having requirements for other people of like how they express themselves. You're trans enough, you're queer enough, you're straight enough, you are who you are, you can be who you are, and it's okay. That brings me joy, to say that to other people in my life. Like, I accept you for who you are.
We're really standing on the shoulders of great leaders that have paved the way for us, and that have given us so many things that that many of us, and really all of us, take for granted. You know, to live a liberated life, and there's still challenges. And it for me personally, I find that a lot of people don't really assume that I'm gay, and I find myself in a lot of sometimes really like masculine heteronormative circles where people just assume I'm straight. And so there's a lot of like funny coming out moments that happen to me a lot. And so and it's always when it happens, it's always really like, yeah, celebration of the people that gave me these opportunities to come out and to tell people about who I am. And I think like living proudly is the best way to honor our elders and our ancestors for their sacrifice.
Yeah.
Thank you all for sharing.
I'd like to add one more thing is the way that our identities are sexualized, where it becomes about sex and our like perversions and however they frame it, when it's about everything else almost. Like that is a piece of it, but like gay doesn't just mean that one thing. It means like this whole, it's your whole life that is reflected in these identities, and we're trying to put these words to them to explain it to other people or to give them like something palatable, but exposing who we are beyond sex and desire, and more so like who we are in our lives and these beautiful people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all.
Yeah. I think there's a lot that we could also say about sex, but maybe that'd be a whole other topic. Yeah. A whole other thing.
So we talked, we all talked a good bit about like community and seeing other folks around. So I'm curious for you, if you consider Savannah a visibly queer city, and just in general, how you feel walking around Savannah being visibly queer and iconic and beautiful.
Oh, okay. Being from Savannah, truthfully, no. I think being from Savannah, I've always wanted to leave. It's always been a mind boggle why people would come here. And to me, I was just like, I don't know. I don't really see anybody that represents me. I don't see another Black queer person. I don't see me, and it sucks to say that, especially from a place that you're from. And I remember that like when I was graduating high school 2020, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Boston. I'm about to go be a lawyer. I'm just about to get my life started up northeast because there's more queer people, there's more of me. And then COVID happened and locked us down. And I think it was a blessing in disguise because it really made me sit with myself and think, I could leave. I really could. It's easy. Pack up and go. Or I can make a difference for the next person in line for me. The next generation. Make Savannah much more queer. Make Savannah much more present. Make people feel like they are seen and heard. And even some days I really don't feel that, but then some days I do feel very queer and heard in Savannah. I think that my thing has always been, Savannah's always been queer, always. And we just never had like the voice or the sanctuary or the togetherness to find each other. And I think you've said this before, that we have to seek each other out. We have to find each other. And yes, that's true, but also like, where do we go? If you're like 18, where do you go? You can't go to Club One. So where do you go? And then that retaliates to going to places like Grindr and other apps where you really lose yourself and you lose your value of yourself. And I experienced that, And I don't know. That's been Savannah has a lot of ways to change. I want to see more Black-owned businesses in my town. I want to see more queer-owned businesses. I want to see much more than what we're just fed, which is why I'm really happy that we took this initiative to do something bigger than us, because I think that was just the tip of the iceberg, I think it really showed people that, no, we're capable of doing things when we pull each other together. So being from Savannah, born and raised, I felt for a very long time that no, it is not very queer focused or welcoming. I don't know how to really describe it. But this past month, I've been feeling a lot of that energy of that we're here. we know that we're here now, and we're not going anywhere. We got each other. Yeah. Yeah.
To me, Savannah actually does feel visibly queer, and I think that maybe it's because of my perspective since Questival and since like building all these networks and all this community, I'm starting to see these people around more, so maybe it just feels more queer to me lately. But yeah, Savannah does, to me it feels like a place where, especially lately, where I feel more seen and accepted for who I am. And yeah, and I'm from the Northeast, and from a place like when I was in high school, the president of my class was gay and the mayor of my city was gay. So it was a pretty accepting place. And I feel right now that Savannah seems to be feeling like a pretty accepting place, especially compared to the surrounding areas.
I came for SCAD. I felt drawn to Savannah when I came to visit in high school, and I was like, I just knew this is where I was going to go after high school. So I came for SCAD, and I had one gay friend who was my best friend in high school, just randomly. Like, we met and became close and exposed through theater, through Christopher Mason, who performed at the Trans Museum opening. But I came to an art school, so I saw queerness and felt apart from it at that point. But I met my first like trans people that became my really close friends. One of my best friends who also came down and did a workshop for the museum, Lewin. And just having like context for what I was going through for the first time, but kind of like watching from the outside and still planning to leave. Like, everything was about getting a job in LA or New York, and those were the places that were important in my mind at the time, in my naive brain, not realizing the potential here and the richness that was already here and what I was being exposed through just like living in Savannah. Coming from such a small town in New York. And then coming out, it was like as soon as I started looking, I saw everyone everywhere. Like, it was just, I'm meeting you at Ecstatic Dance through Christy. I feel like a lot of my friends that I had met before were also going through their own coming outs at different times. So like I was watching them explore who they were and their identities. And meeting you, you met me at the Halloween party where I dressed up for the first time how I wanted to, but I was in a relationship where like that was the way that I could express it, was at this Halloween party as a costume. And now I obviously I feel like there's a huge community of queer people here, and I do a lot of exposure therapy where I run downtown around Forsyth Park, run down to the river. I see a lot of tourists also. And I don't know, I just like, Savannah is queer town. Like I come back from New York now, from time in New York City, and I still get off the plane, I'm like relieved that I'm back with my weirdos, my freaks here. Like, I just love this like artsy community, and it goes way beyond, I think, like what you would normally attribute to queerness. And yeah, I love Savannah. I feel like there's just, it feels weird to say potential because it just is already there. It doesn't need me. It doesn't need my involvement to make it that way. But it feels like a place that I can be a part of, and that's like also coming out with us. It's like Savannah's still this bubble, and I think with Questival, with every pride that they put on, it's like we're saying like, no, this is our hub, this is our fortress, and we are here in Savannah, and this is Queer Town, and like straight people live here. With us. That might not be okay to say. Just kidding.
They live here with us. us.
They live here with
We
us.
allow them to live here.
Yeah, I don't know what else to add. It feels good.
Well, I'll pull on a thread here. We've talked about, we've kind of shouted out all these various different places where we find queer folks. So the question is, what are the favorite queer scenes for you guys? Like, if you're trying to go hang out with the girls and the gays, where do you go?
I call them up and we go somewhere. It doesn't really feel like there's a place to go to that like we could just, I don't know, go anytime and it's always gonna be our place. Except for like maybe our homes, each other's homes. Maybe it used to be like Club One, but that doesn't feel like that anymore for me personally. I think that like we just hit each other up and we're like, let's go do something. That's
The city.
Can you pull on the Club One thread a little bit? I think that's shared amongst us as a community, but I think it would be helpful to have that documented.
Yeah, I just feel like I feel like it's first of all, I do want to honor Club One for really like being a trailblazer and really like going out there and creating a public space for the queer community back a long time ago, and creating like a space for someone like Lady Chablis to really come out there and really be iconic in our community and really be like a queen of our community in Savannah for such a long period of time. So I think that like I do want to also like give a lot of respect to Club One. I just feel like when I go there personally myself, it's centered around drinking and partying, and I don't really feel like it doesn't really feel like a home base for queer community right now. I feel like there's a lot of like bachelorette parties and a lot of like other people that are there who I don't really feel like are part of my community. And yeah, it just seems to be focused like your first interaction you walk into Club One is like, you know, pay the cover to get in, you know. And then I think when there was House of Gun that was doing regular performances there, which I don't think they really do as many regular performances, right? House of Gun's not really doing as much at Club One.
I think they're on break right now.
Okay,
I think they may be on a break.
Yeah, I think that was like something that was pretty iconic for the queer community because it was like our own. It felt like our own version of drag that's very specific to Savannah. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't. It's not a place that I really feel drawn to, and I really feel like seen at, and it doesn't really seem to vibe with the reality of the queer culture here today.
I think say the question one more time for me.
So any particular spots or like regular groups that meet, like what are the places, events that you go to hang out with queer people?
Truthfully, I think in the past maybe year, we've started to see a lot more queer things happen, such as Dyke Nights, and huge shout out to Dyke Nights. Wow, maybe
the Slab.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Huge
Slab,
local house
absolutely.
venue.
Slab.
Transled.
What else is there? There used to be Gorilla Gay Bar, but yeah. But I also, again, I think that Club One sort of died because of the gay dating apps and gay apps like that, you know? We used to seek each other out in person. Now we seek each other out on our phones. And it's not the same, you know? And again, that used to be such a prevalent part of Savannah. It's the only gay bar in Savannah. And I'm just very proud of them. And it also hurts my heart that we sort of don't take the initiative to really go out there and sort of like lift each other up. But it's also like, who do we reach out to? How do we find each other? You know, we got to find each other by the luck of God or whatever in the universe is there, or whatever you believe in, you know? And I don't know. It is just like, call your friends up and be like, hey, let's go do this. Or if there's a crazy event going on, it's like, oh, let's go to the Slab. Let's go to Dyke Nights, you know, something like that. But I don't know. Hopefully it changes. I will say, I hope this is documented too. With the Trans Museum, Salvador, they did extensive amount of research with Carla about the history of queerness in Savannah. Savannah used to be very queer. There used to be multiple gay bars. There used to be
a lesbian bar.
Lesbian bar, yeah. And some adult stores too.
Ooh.
But yeah, I know, spicy Savannah. But all of those died off. And my thinking is why? Because it could have been really impactful for us. I think for a lot of people, especially me, to really grow up and see other people like that for me. But yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll happen again.
For me, I connected through Tinder with a lot of people and like dating apps, and would find trans people at first that way to connect with, you know, like outside of my immediate circle. And I volunteered for Pride 2 or 3 years ago with First City Pride, before it was Savannah Pride. And I met Lawrence and Danny, and I met Alex's mom, who provided the venue for the Trans Museum. Met people that traveled from other states to volunteer at Pride, and like learn that people do that. And there's just so much that I learned through volunteering. So that would be the place that I feel like I was able to connect first, and then separately house parties, different venues like Ranch's House. I can't remember the venue name, or if it's appropriate to say in this interview. But you don't remember it?
Oh, I know it.
Oh, okay, but I'm sure you should say.
Not sure if they want that
That's
on record.
That sounds good. But yeah, it's felt like local, small, personal, through dating apps or friends of friends, the pop-up patch, of course, being exposed to all of you through there. And like, I remember the first time I saw you and Alex at an ecstatic dance, and just being like, wow, I feel pulled to connect with you. And following those threads or pulls, and opening the door and seeing what's behind it. And
yeah. You really changed a lot for a lot of people, you and Alex.
I think that we're really motivated by really there being like a void that needs to be filled.
Yeah.
And I want to hold hope or hold space for building bridges with those places again, like Club One, or you know, we're building bridges here at the Pride Center. There's a lot of healing that's needed to take place in Savannah.
Yeah.
And not like running away from it anymore, and just being like, okay, this is,
especially in these next years, we need to really band together. Yeah, it's also about like, okay, we either band together or we burn together, you know? Like, what are we going to do?
I think it's a really great segue into my last question for the queer life, which is, what does community mean to you, and what are your hopes for Savannah's communities, queer communities, in the coming years?
Community to me means everything. It means survival. It means love and support. It means family. My biological family has gone through a lot of changes. My relationships with them has gone through a lot of changes in the past 4 years, because of coming out, because of COVID, because of so many just life changes. And having these people in my life, it's just life-saving. Like, it wouldn't be possible to be healthy and have the energy to do what we're doing without all of you.
I don't really feel like I actually have anything to add to that. Community means unity. It means coming together. It means family. It means affirmation, support, and love. Supporting one another, receiving support, having a vision, and tackling that vision together to make it really impactful and allow it to really influence wider society. Community is everything. Community is the answer.
Yeah, I think you both said it really well. I think community is embracing each other, embracing the struggle with each other, you know, like just being a part of each other. You know, it is everything. It's all we have. It's all that we have in front of us that we can seek out and choose and be a part of. It's very important. Yeah.
And for the future, I see the queer community developing in so many ways that we can't even predict right now. I think the more and more we're allowed to be ourselves and ask those like hard questions, and the more support we have to feel supported as we answer those questions for ourselves, it's probably unrecognizable to us now. I would love to see the future through the eyes of whoever's watching this, and I hope wherever you are, it's as beautiful as I dream about. And it goes down to like institutions. It goes down to just having like a gym to go to that's queer. Just simple things I see in the future. Being able to be myself.
For the future, I think I would like to see much more of a queer staple. I want Savannah to be a queer staple in the South. I want it to be like the San Francisco of the East Coast, but affordable. Affordable, you know, but also queer, but also very queer and very loving and accepting allies, everything, you know. You may not need to be queer, but you could be a hell of a good ally. I think
you can wear a cute little sweater.
You could wear a cute little pen, you know. Very cute little pen. I'm an ally. But, I hope whoever is watching this, they realize that we're trying. And I really do hope that whatever happens, we made an impact.
Yeah. And I feel like queerness does exist on a spectrum. And I think there are a lot of people who are maybe majority cis hetero, and maybe they don't feel like they really want to express their queerness because they don't feel entirely queer. And I think there's a lot of focus on how you're going to be perceived and projected by other people, and how you present, and how you, in different ways that people might mask themselves. And I just hope in the future that everybody feels comfortable expressing whatever level of queerness that they are, and however they feel like they would like to express themselves.
I want to see what our world looks like unclouded by hate.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke, sort of.
I also want to see what eating is going to open up. Huge fan of eating. Shout out. I hope that's on public record.
Thank you.
Thank you, eating.
Thank you, eating.
Thank you, eating. Eating, please sponsor us.
Yeah,
please.
We love you, eating.
Yeah. I don't care what your health score is. I love you.
It's really good.
It's really good. I didn't say that. Eating, I love you.
We love you so much.
We love you, eating.
Moving on from eating.
Okay, so before we take a break and head into our last few closing questions, are there any parting thoughts when it comes to living in Savannah, queer, the queer scene in Savannah, community? Anything left on your hearts?
Yeah, even though I grew up here, and for me, I didn't really experience queerness. I think that these last couple of years, I've started to see the change that I'm looking for. And I think it's also a part of me reaching out to the community, but also like having these events, having these amazing people in our lives. And I'm grateful for it. Yeah, really grateful that I stayed and met everybody. Yeah, I met you, Sam. Yeah.
So lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you as well. Shout out Sam on the public.
Woo-woo! Yes, Sam. I don't really have anything to add.
Let me just think for a sec.
If
I were to add, if I were to say anything, I hope that wherever, you're watching this from, that it is a better world, and that you are already supported, you are already in community, you are already connected. But if you're not, look me up if I'm still here. I'm probably pretty cool as like an 80-year-old.
Oh my god.
I
would be
hope
so
I'm
young.
A witch or like a mage, I should say. But
A
anyway,
high trans priestess?
a high trans priestess,
Perhaps.
Yes.
Maybe this is already true.
Oh my god, I could be
Right.
willing you around as I'm 33 and vibrant since you're both so
As you're
old.
casting
Who
queer
the
spells.
fuck are you? Aw, me, my Zhazhee, it's okay. You're at the Trans Museum.
When all of Savannah's a trans museum.
All of Bronze
The whole
Street is a
city.
trans museum. Yeah.
Um,
Trotton Street.
That's about it. If you're not connected, go find community as soon as possible. You deserve love, life, happiness, and you exist. Accept it. We all accept it.
And also to piggyback, if the change hasn't happened too, you're watching this video and you're looking for the change, so you are a part of the change. So great job and keep that shit going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep up.
You're doing
Yeah.
great.
You're doing great.
We see you.
We see you.
I see.
I hope
you.
eating is still around too. Love you eating. Yeah.
We do love us a bit.
I know, I really want it.
Okay. We will wrap up in just a sec. See y'all in the next section. This is Sam Alai. I believe this is part 5 of the interview of the organizers of the Trans Museum of the Past, Present, and Future. So once again, thank you all so much for your organizing efforts and for being here to record your stories for the Savannah Proud Oral History Project. Before we hop into our final 3 questions, I want to take a quick moment to thank the City of Savannah's Municipal Archives staff, especially Luciana Spraker and Kelly Zakovic, for their support and efforts in recording our oral history. You guys rock. We love your work. So, all right, final questions for us. First one. Who is a trans ancestor of the past, present, or future who has inspired you in your queer journey?
I feel like you should open the floor.
Well, I think there are some like heavy hitters in my mind, to use like an inappropriate term maybe. Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Candy Darling, just because we got to witness such a beautiful performance with Anastasia playing Candy Darling, reading from her diary. It was really powerful to experience these people, their legacy this past month from a perspective beyond like the tragic circumstances surrounding their deaths, and to see who they were as people and like what they wanted and their simple wishes on their birthdays. It felt unique, considering the like national narrative right now. And then just doing the museum, like looking at everybody, like on the first night, like being next to London and everyone who came up to speak, everyone who is a part and continues to be a part of this thing that we're building here. Like those are it makes me want to like burst into tears thinking about how we're surrounded by all the people that like need to be here right now to make this all happen, and to kind of, I don't want to say change the world and like, you know, saviorism, but it feels like we're at least moving the needle here. And just like so grateful and honored to be around all these people. I feel very lucky.
I think for me, all of the people who have died, I think all of the people who have died for me to be here, all of the trans women, trans men, everybody that has died for me to be here on this couch, speaking to you, speaking to one another, being a part of each other's lives. I don't think we really focus enough on the trans community and how much they gave to the gay and lesbian community. And it's not acknowledged enough. And I'm very appreciative. I remember watching, before October, I remember watching Marsha P. Johnson's documentary on Netflix. And, you know, I've always seen it. I never watched it. And I don't know why I didn't watch it, but something just was like, you know what, let's watch it. And I watched it. And I remember, I think it was Sylvia giving a speech in not Central Park, some park in New York, and just seeing so many gay and lesbian people boo her. And I don't know, that just really hurt me. That really hurt me. And, you know, I think about now today, what can we do? What can I do as a gay Black man? And I think acknowledging the hurt and being really appreciative, because back then those people weren't appreciative of all of the things that the trans community has done for us. So I am very thankful to all the people that have paved the way.
I just think of all of the unnamed trans people of the past. Trans people have always been here and always will be here. And all of the contributions that they have made to not just queer culture and queer liberation, but also just to society, just to civilization, that have whose stories and whose struggles have been erased in Western civilization, and as a result of Western colonialism, much of the world history. And so I just really want to take a moment to really like embrace them and really think about them and really thank them for everything that they have done for this life that we live today. And I also just want to thank like all the trans people out there today who are out or who are not out, who are also just like living their lives and living their either their struggles or their not struggles, and really just contributing so much. And I also do want to take a second to speak about the trans people in the early gay rights liberation movement who were excluded from that movement when there was such a push for gay liberation, and trans people were not really allowed to be a part of that movement, and their liberation wasn't. They were working so hard for that movement, and they were acknowledged by the cis gay men that were trying to really take that movement just for themselves. So I really want to also acknowledge that, and also take a second to be aware of that.
I appreciate you both saying that. Not that it specifically has to do with me, just that it feels like now there's this, like it's coming around the loop, and I feel like I'm seeing that language a lot now of wanting to exclude trans people again, because the messaging, even what we were speaking about at Perk recently, that like this is like it's okay that you're trans, but this is too much, and it's okay that this is this way, but like we need to get our rights secured. And you know, and I think that's reflected in a lot of different communities and identities. So I just, you know, it feels really safe to be around people that you are so supportive of, like just being whatever brand of trans I choose. Like I don't feel like I have to be anything specific to receive your love or validation, that I can truly be myself, and that is like the most healing thing you can ask for.
Yeah. There's no one, I feel like there's no one like, we need this first, so you have to be put on the back burner. No, we're all cooking together.
Right.
This is a meal, and we all have to cook together. We all have to eat together.
Right.
So, one
we're all
person
one.
is, we're all one.
We're all one.
We're all queer. Yeah.
Y'all are so precious. Love you guys. Okay, so we've had a lot of shout outs today.
E-Tank.
Can we get a quick reference of what is E-Tank for those of us watching 80 years from now?
E-Tank is a place where you should be. E-Tank. Actually, I really hope they sponsor.
It's a Chinese restaurant.
It's a Chinese restaurant.
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's they have E-Tang, Hot Pot, E-Tang, Noodle Bar, and OG E-Tang. And I don't know, it's just been a place where I've been going to all this year with friends and loved ones, and just enjoying good food that's cheap. Yeah. So shout out E-Tang.
Great.
And all the other amazing restaurants in Savannah. We love you all equally.
So I want to give you guys one last opportunity to give shout outs to anyone for their support during the planning, the joy that they experienced, the outfits that they brought, the dance moves, the artwork, really just anyone else that you feel needs some love.
I want to just say real quick, Savannah Pride Center sponsored the Trans Museum as well as Collins Quarter, and we couldn't have done it without both of those donations. Barbara Zinn, Alex's mom,
absolutely,
let us use the space. Without that, it never would have happened. We were really flailing until that point, and that security was offered to us. There's so many.
There's
I'm thinking about all
In
the
addition to us, just support to highlight Lily and Trinity and Carla and Roberto and Alex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of volunteers, Sav,
so many
Forest,
volunteers.
So many volunteers.
So many
Slab
volunteers.
again,
All of the businesses that supported us.
Your Space,
Yeah.
Gallery 2424.
Absolutely. Rose
Yeah,
Club,
yeah.
Super Bloom, Sterling Strange, Sterling Yard. All of the people that we didn't even get the chance to work with that we would love to next
that
year.
offered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody that came to every event.
Yeah, literally everybody that came to
yeah.
every event.
Yeah, for sure.
You, Sam, and the city of Savannah for acknowledging us and giving us this opportunity to be documented. Yeah.
London for being so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Huge shout out
supportive.
to London.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can you remember all the winners?
Oh my God, no. Absolutely not. No, I cannot.
Another shout out to Chris Pierce, because I know
Huge
they're
shout
already a star.
And Kylie Cloud.
Where you
Kylie
are.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Yes. House of Guns.
House of God, yeah.
Everybody, all our friends, all of you, our community.
Savannah.
I didn't say that. I said our community.
So the people also that maybe felt like a little uncomfortable or a little bit awkward and came to some of our events just to be open to seeing who we are and what we're all about. I thank them also for coming out and giving us a chance.
Yeah. And huge thank you again to everybody. It's just everybody.
Yeah.
Literally everybody. Yeah.
Kelly for offering a lot of insight into accessibility at the museum for next year.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
John Taylor, Ben,
Keyshawn.
Zhazhee.
We just go down the list of this eating 2.0, future eating that's probably watching this.
Just everybody that participated for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Great. Final question for you.
Yeah.
Any parting words or message for those folks watching, however many decades from now, our trans ancestors of the future?
Be yourself. I believe in you.
I hope no matter where you are in the future that you are living your authentic life. I hope that you are living, laughing, and loving with all of the people that you care with. I hope you are at a dinner table at eating with people that you care about, smiling and laughing, and not because of the food, but because of the memories. And most importantly, I hope that you're just okay. Actually, you're better than okay. You're amazing. You're a star.
And it's okay to not be okay.
And it's okay. And it's okay to not be okay. I know. Trust me. I know. Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you.
I just want to say that I love you, and that queer liberation, it goes through phases. It's gone through so many different phases over the past decades and hundreds of years and thousands of years. And if things are not great right now, keep on struggling. We've been through a lot, and we always emerge resilient and strong. And if things are great, also don't forget that to not let them take your rights away. Don't let them take your who you are away from you. Always keep up the struggle. Always keep up the fight. Always fight for those who have less than you do. And I just want to send my love from this time and from this place. And hope to meet you if I'm still alive.
And also, do your history. Don't forget about all of the people before us that have made an impact. Do your history.
Yeah.
Know about these people and keep their names alive.
Queer liberation is linked to the liberation of all people on Earth. And I hope that we are closer to that goal every day from now until from TikTok.
And TikTok. No sponsor them. So don't keep that on record.
It's TikTok.
Well, friends, I have said thank you 10,000 times since the beginning of this process, but once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for everything that you did. I cried so many beautiful, heartfelt tears over the month of October. During this interview, I've teared up multiple times. Y'all are beautiful, wonderful human beings. So on behalf of myself, our community, our ancestors, our future ancestors, we love you so much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.
So to our listeners, thank you for taking the time to tune in to this snapshot of 2024. We're sending you lots of love, hope, and joy.
Wait, should we do like a little back-to-back action? How should we? Oops. Oh, wait, Charlie's Angels? I think that's good. There you go. There you go. I love that. That was cute.
Good.
That was cute.
That was so good.